Hey everybody, Sherry Ferguson here with Chamber Connections or Portland Connections with the Portland Chamber of Commerce. We are here today with Jennifer Brown with Cumberland Connect. Jennifer, how are you?
Hi. Fine. How are you?
Doing good. I'm actually in Florida this week, so I took a break from the beach to come out, and I like to have at least one a week so that we can kind of keep people up to date on what's going on. Most of these have been on COVID information, which we'll start a little bit with that, but we have more important information to talk about. So with COVID, Cumberland Connect has been working really hard to get some things going. First of all, let me back up. Let's tell us what Cumberland Connect is. Let's start there for those that don't know.
Okay. Well, Cumberland Connect is a broadband subsidiary of Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation. And for those of you in the Portland area, I'm sure you're very familiar with Cumberland Electric. We've been serving the communities throughout Middle Tennessee for over 80 years. We've been your electric provider. And starting last year, we launched our broadband division. So we are excited to take 100% fiber connections to rural areas. And there's a lot of underserved and unserved areas in these rural places. And we are going to the home. We're not going to stop at the pole, the curb. We're going to all the way inside the home with the fiber connection. So it's true high-speed internet.
Well, this is very exciting. So now let's talk about COVID, because if you guys could have been through all of your phases at this point, you would have had really been able to help some of these businesses that took people back home to work and to do things. So, but as you're working, a lot of things shut down. So how did the COVID situation affect Cumberland Connect in general? With number one, did you have trouble getting your supplies? Have your people been able to continue to work?
Yeah, we adapted pretty well. We had to do a rearranging of some of the employees, and some had to work from home. I worked from home since March, and so beginning about mid-March, we decided to close the offices, and for the safety of our members and our employees. And so we closed the lobbies, and the drive-through was still open. And then just a few days later, we closed the drive-through to protect the employees and the members. We've adapted real well by, as I said, our IT department, amazing. I mean, they sent us out a PDF that had everything that we needed, as far as our VPN goes, as far as accessing our timesheet. I mean, you don't think of these things that you have to have access to just on a normal basis. I mean, daily basis, you take that for granted. So we had to be able to access that without having to expose ourselves, to one another in the office. So we did have to. The girls and the gentlemen in the offices, the customer account reps, they became customer service reps. They became the call center. So the district offices, even though the offices were closed, they were on the phone answering. And normally those calls are filtered through the call center. So, they had to transition and make some changes. And I think it has given us all a whole new appreciation of what everybody does.
I think a lot of businesses too even had to find computers, because a lot of these people didn't have laptops. They had desktops that they sat at their office with. So I'm sure it was just a challenge of that IT group. My husband's an IT person, so I know how difficult this has been on them. But that sounds like that they really have come together and made that happen. So
the communication too. I mean, the general manager, Chris Davis, he made sure that every few days we would get emails, and then there would be new posts on our website about everything that needed to be done. Help agencies, we had suspended cutoffs, and we realized that our members could be struggling. And so, and they developed a plan that, and that's all listed on our website in depth, a repayment plan once we did resume cutoff. So we just really been trying to help our members.
Well, so with, let's get into actually your project. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the fiber projects that's going on. I have a comment on here too I want to read to you. It says, we're looking forward to getting fiber. Being Northern Portland, we live within their phase 1. So hopefully it's still on track or ahead of schedule. So let's talk about who's actually doing the work. Let's start there, because I think sometimes people think that you've hired enough people to run out there and to put all this fiber in the ground. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we've got several project partners. I mean, from our project management partners that design and the whole project connects on, and then we've got contractors that go in and first of all, they hang the mainline fiber and they construct that, and then Irving Cable, and then we've got a different contractor that goes in and they install the drop to the house, and then another set of contractors that come in and install it in your house. And so we wanted to make sure that we partnered with the best companies for our membership, and, super professional. And, we've gotten a lot of good feedback as far as the in-home installs go, that, they just were super professional and super helpful. So we have a long list of partners that we are very blessed to have found and been able to partner up with. So Portland we're getting there. We're coming soon. We are on track. Mitchellville substation is a part of phase 1. So start looking for us in the fall, close to the fall.
So is that when you originally were planning to have the Mitchellville area completed?
Yeah, we hope we have 9 substations in our phase 1 build, and we're hoping to be done with that by the end of this year. So
with the whole phase.
Yeah, we're on track.
So have you turned on some subscribers already?
Yeah, as of, let's see what the number was right before that I got on the phone call. I looked it up, and it was 567 new subscribers in the Dover, Tennessee area. So that's great. During this time especially, they needed it, and they had no options out there. They don't even have cell phone service out there in some of the rural areas. Right. So yeah, we have that many. We launched May the 1st. So we were super excited. I think we've got about 33 businesses that have come on board. And of course, I'm very excited about that. As far as business development coordinator goes, I love working with the businesses and helping them. And hopefully, if things, remain as uncertain and times as uncertain as they are, once we get built, maybe we can partner with these companies and the Board of Education and some of these other places to help our members and so that they'll have access.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, when we talk about fiber, I think my internet, which is very much needed. It is a staple in everything that we do today. But that's not all this will be. I was a little shocked because that's what I thought of in the beginning. So let's talk about some of the products that you'll be able to get with once you have a Cumberland Connect provided to your home.
Okay. Well, on the residential side, we are in the process of testing our CC video service. So once we get there, it will be a traditional set-top box type of service, or you can choose to bring your own streaming device and streaming subscription and use the internet connection. So, we got some options. We wanted to have that video option available for people that wanted to put everything together on one bill, have one simple account number, and it's what they're used to, and that's great. We wanted to make sure that we could serve our whole membership. And then we've got some that just they buy a streaming device and and they stream services. They have streaming subscriptions. So we are offering that on the residential side and a home phone plan. It's not your traditional landline phone, but it's a voice over IP service. And then we've got a really good lineup on our website that lists we've got 3 packages, a local package that just, if you just want your local channels, then we've got another package that it's a longer list and expanded package. And then we've got a really, really long list and some add-ons, some HBO channels. And you can find all that on our website, on the cumberlandconnect.org website.
Well, all the pricing is out there too for all of that, correct?
On the residential side, it is. It gets a little more complicated on the business side because they have a few more needs. There's business phones and SIP trunking and hosted PBX, and I won't get into the weeds on that, but it gets super complicated on the business side. But we do have some options that we're working on right now I'm working with a marina right now that they needed access to their slips outside. So that wasn't something that we had originally planned to even look into. And who knows if we'll be able to do it or not. But, we're going to look into it and see if we've got a member with a need. We're going to see if we can make it work. We may not be able to. And we just set those expectations from the beginning that, we may not be able to do that. So.
When you do come into the community, so you'll be in phase 1. So later on in the fall, when you get into the Mitchellville area, how will I know that you're ready? And what do I need to do to make sure that I can be one of the first ones when mine is on, that I can be signed up?
Well, I had planned to get you one of those signs to stand in front of the Chamber of Commerce and spin around. No.
That would be fun.
I can see you doing that.
I don't know that they would ever be able to read it, but it hit me in the head as much as it would. But yes, that would be fun.
Oh gosh, we've got so many ways that we communicate with everyone. They are our marketing creative director. She has set up a communication plan where she is sending out a postcard. And then, of course, if you'll check your bill, unless you have it set up on bank draft, and well, I guess you still would get a bill that says it's set up on bank draft, but you can look on there and see information on there. And then what is so important, and I cannot stress this enough, if you have not updated your email address with Cumberland Electric, please call in and do that, because that is the way she is going to send out when a zone opens. Make sure that your email address is updated in our records.
What do they need to call? And I'm going to put it in the notes here.
800-987-2362. So that's 800-987-CEMC.
Makes it easy.
Yeah. So make sure, because that's how we communicate with you. So if you set up your account a long time ago and you've changed email addresses, just make sure that that information is up to date, because we pull that and we send out those notifications that way.
If we have an email address that still says Juno, that we had a long time ago, and we might not be getting it. All of those old email addresses that, as things have come along, we've all changed at some point or another.
I think I have 17 emails. I think I have an AOL, I have a Gmail, I have work emails, and depending on who I'm talking to is which email address. If it's somebody my age, I'll give them the AOL, and I don't feel so bad. But if it's someone my son's age, I'm not going to tell him I still have an AOL account.
Yes, it does tell our age on how long we've had our email address, for sure.
It does. But we're really excited. I'm excited about getting to the Portland area. Worked up at that office for a long time, and I'm over at the White House office now. But it's exciting. My mom lives in Portland. My friends I grew up with live in Portland. So just getting in that area and helping people that I know, it feels so good to help people in Dover. And I've never met met these people before until now. And so I just can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be when we get up to Portland. So
well, we do still have people in Portland city limits that do not have internet access. And it's crazy to think that you are living in a city limit and you do not have internet access, but it is. And even there's people right outside that, just it is a need. And a lot of these other companies would not bring and would not connect you because it is very expensive.
It is a very expensive project. And, just like building the electric grid, how expensive, that was back 80 years ago, but it had to be done. And this had to be done. And it just made sense. Our members had a need, and it's a true need. And I'm hoping that something good can come out of these uncertain times, with the COVID-19, and hopefully that this will wake up some people, the right people, to see that there are people that do not have access. They don't. And so hopefully something positive will come out of this.
Well, I think we have been made aware of that. If it doesn't affect me, sometimes I don't know what's going on. But I think with people trying to work from home, not being able to do that, and with the school being out, and a lot of these children can't access the internet. So I think we found that there is a need. But I also think that good has come out of this, because all of these people that have been working from home have found I have been very productive working from home. So I can turn around now because I don't have all the interruptions.
Yes.
I know if you're in the office and somebody walks by your office, they stop and ask you a question, and they don't have that opportunity to do that when you're working from home. They still have to make a conscious effort. They'll just send you an email and ask you that question, or they'll call you and ask you that question. So as productive as people have been, I know that there will be more people using these home services to do these things, whether it's working or school work or whatever it may be.
Yeah, there's so many things, we lost Daddy in September from Alzheimer's, and getting him to the doctor for Mom was very, very stressful. And there was telemedicine now, and there's things that people can do, and they don't ever have to leave the house. And to have that option out there to reduce that stress in people's lives is, and you don't think of just the small things that are huge to some people. I mean, we take that for granted. We hop in the car, if we're not feeling well, we go to the doctor.
Right.
And we've got people in our, that are members of our cooperative that aren't able to do that, and we'll be able to help them.
Right. I know I see on here too, somebody has said there's also a good website that she's posted on here, the cumberlandconnect.org. It's a status map, so they can click on the map and subscribe to keep those emails. I know I get your emails, so I'm real excited when I see something come through that you're opening a station or something that you're doing.
Yeah. We can do that right now when you sign up for those updates. But as I said earlier, make sure that even if you've signed up for updates, make sure that your email address is updated with CEMC too. Okay, so because we're trying to grab all of those from both places, from when you sign up for those updates, and when you sign up, those emails come to me if you're a business, and then I try to reach out immediately and kind of offer some information for businesses that want to sign up. We've had churches that have signed up, insurance agencies, parks. We've got local government that's wanting to sign up, and it's just amazing. It is. We are super pleased.
Well, I know First Baptist Church, you think about First Baptist Church is right there. First Baptist in Portland is right there in the middle of town, and you think they should have the best internet service because it's right there. They do not. They do not have internet service that allows them to do a lot of the things that they need to do. So they are really excited when you're ready to come through the middle of town there. So
yeah, I met with I can't remember. I think so, and at one of the chamber meetings up there at Five Chefs, and he was super excited. Of course, he was like, when are you going to be here? Just as soon as you get here, call me. So I got several people on the list like that.
Well, and thinking that this is going to be fiber, it's going to be so much faster. It's going to be so much better for people to be able to get the speed that they need on the streaming, or whether it is to do your, we do a lot of Facebook Lives, such as we're doing here, and at churches that are doing that, sometimes they struggle with having enough bandwidth to be able to do that properly. So again, it's amazing what this is going to do for so many people in our area.
Yeah, that's big. When you're on a video conference and you're trying to, partner with another business or trying to sell to another business, and you don't have a good quality video, it's distracting. And so, that's just another thing that factors into why that a fiber connection is so important for businesses.
It is. We've grown accustomed to needing these things.
Yeah.
No longer. Used to, it was just kind of something extra that you had, because now that everything is available through that mechanism, that it's really a need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you're right.
Once you come to Mitchellville, you come through the Mitchellville substations open, and somebody signs up. How long is it going to take to get service, and what's going to happen to be able to get them online?
So once they call in and sign up, that's about a 25 to 30 day process. It's usually taking about 10 days once they call in, for us to get their drop installed, and then for the scheduler to call them to get them in the in-home installation. Now, the reason it takes a little longer is this is a brand new build. So we don't have the drops installed to the houses yet. So it's a time-consuming process, and all we ask is just everybody be patient. We're going to try to communicate with everyone and be as transparent as we can, and make sure that that if somebody has a question, that one of us, no matter who it is, from the general manager to me, we will answer any questions that you have. So that process, once we will call, once the drop is installed, then they will call and they will install. And as I said, it takes about 25 days. Now, before that drop is installed to the outside of the house, there'll need to be some locates. And what we're asking members to do is, if you're planning a project where you're going to build onto your house or your business, or say you've got a pet fence underground buried, so that we were asking members to mark those, any kind of sprinkler systems, anything like that that's underground that we could possibly hit if your utilities run underground, that you make sure you mark those, and then we will call in the Tennessee One call, and they'll mark the public utilities.
So, and public utilities, they don't know where your lines are, what you've put in. So that's why it's very important for you to put those markers down and let you guys know.
Yeah, and we try to follow the electric grid. So if your service comes in overhead, we'll follow that, and we'll try every way possible to follow it underground as well. So that's what they've been doing, and so hopefully most situations they'll be able to follow that.
Well, so make sure that they get these email addresses updated, and once they do that, when you're ready to get them signed up, they'll just reach. You'll have information. Can you sign up online, or is that something you have to call to do? What's the proper channels?
You need to call in to set up online, or visit one of our district offices. We have the majority of our offices have opened back up now. And so just you can visit one of the offices. Right now, we don't have it where you can sign up online yet. Okay, so there's a lot of moving parts to being able to offer that feature on your website. And so unfortunately, Kaitlyn didn't get to be with us today, and she was going to be able to go in depth and explain that, but she had an emergency come up, or situation that came up, so she wasn't able to be here. I know she hated to miss it though, and also I might mention that tomorrow we have a Facebook Live event, a Q&A event tomorrow. So if you think of something, just get on our Facebook page and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's at 2:30 tomorrow that we're going to have that. And if I'm wrong, Kaitlyn, please email me and let me know if you happen to be watching right now. I think it is tomorrow at 2:30. It is tomorrow at 2:30. So, but that
watch Cumberland Connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Cumberland Connect Facebook, is that what you're wanting to watch?
Yeah. If you want to get on there,
right.
If you think of something that you want to ask that we didn't cover today, then Kaitlyn and several of the CEMC Cumberland Electric team members will be on there to answer questions.
So looks like somebody's asking, what's the pricing for the fiber internet? I know it's online, but maybe just give a little general overview of what that pricing for coming into the home would be, because I know for business it's going to be different, but the home is something you could talk about.
Yeah. We and as I said, we've got all of that. We have it broken down on our website, and then I'm not sure if she's got the residential pricing listed on the Facebook, but so the starter package for the residential 250 megabits per second internet package plan is $50. And then the gig, which is 1,000 megabits per second, is $80 per month. Now, as I said earlier, we have not launched our video yet, but that will be available coming soon. That ranges from $50 to $165, depending on what plan that you choose. And then a phone line is $25 for residential.
Well, and another good thing to point out is I just had to call Comcast to get my discount again.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a discount so that they can hook you in for so long, and then that discount falls off. You have to call back and renegotiate your pricing. So that's not something you're going to have to do with Cumberland Connect.
No, our pricing it has to be board approved. So the board members that you all elect, that you vote and elect, that you have chosen, are the ones that they approve the pricing. So we as a team got together and we tried to come up with the most reasonable pricing. We looked at all of our competitors. We looked at what other cooperatives were doing, and we really put a lot of thought into the pricing and what was fair and transparent and not gimmicky and no teaser pricing and things of that nature. What you see is what you get. It's kind of, I like to call it a la carte pricing, because the bundling gets confusing, and then if you pull one service out, you got the price goes up, and we just didn't want our members to have to go through that. We wanted everything just to be simple and easy and transparent. So it took us a minute to get to the business pricing, because that's a whole different ballgame from the residential, but it's fun. It's been exciting to do this, and I think that if you break it down per megabit per second, people would be amazed. If you take the price you're paying now, say you're getting 60 megabits per second, and you come up with what you're paying per megabit per second compared to our pricing, there's no comparison. So hopefully with this, we can make our competitors step up, and something positive can come out of it.
I have a question. When will the installs to the Mitchellville substations begin? So I think you've mentioned it, but let's go ahead and revisit that.
Our aggressive goal is the fall, hopefully. So that's when we're going to be in that area. Now, when the signups will begin, I don't have a date exactly. I wouldn't want to say one date or another, and I want to under promise and over deliver, but we are hoping to be there in the fall.
Well, and there's so much that can happen too. When you're looking at, you have contractors that are coming in that you're partnering with to help you get this done. And, there could be many things that affect it. So we do understand that there could be some little bit of off, but at the moment you're on track to be ready for the fall. And hopefully we'll be able to stay on track and be able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about, so once you get these couple of phases up and running, you have had contractors to do the installs, will you then be hiring people to be your Cumberland Connect linemen that will actually be taking care of the low voltage for the fiber that'll be separate from your Cumberland, the Cumberland Connect will be separate from Cumberland Electric?
Well, I really don't want to answer that because I don't know for sure yet what the future holds. I would like to say that we would like to have it all 100% in-house. All of the employees be Cumberland Connect employees, and I think that could possibly be a goal of, and I know that's something that our general manager has seemed to express interest in doing and is passionate about. So I personally hope that we can do that, but I don't want to answer with a yes or no because I don't know. Sure.
And I'll tell you the reason that I would like that is because I know when my electricity's out, how hard you guys work to get, and gals work to get that on and get everything back up and running. And I know that it will be much better customer service coming from you guys. And that's, I know, is one thing that people are so excited about y'all coming into this side of it. So
yeah, that's so good about it is because the people that work for the company, I mean, it's our family, it's our neighbors, it's our friends. And so they want to make sure that they get their friends and family and their community back on as soon as possible. And, they have their cell phone numbers. People send me messages on Facebook and say, hey, my lights are out. What's going on? Can you call in for me? And I'm fine with that. I grew up with it. People would call the house all hours of the night looking for daddy, wanting to, my lights are out. What's going on? So,
well, Rusty, my son-in-law, works for CMC, and he gets the same question. They call him instead of calling Cumberland Electric, and they say, hey, my light's out. Yeah. Well, it's best if you call Cumberland Electric because but yes, it is funny.
You can go on there and you can check your outage, your address on the outage map, and there's some good resources out there that but if you don't have access to the internet, you can't go online and do that. So
right. Well, and so you can do it from your phone to some degree, but there's people that they also do not have good phone service where they have their internet where they don't have internet too. So, but we are very excited. I do feel that this construction, the people do not understand how much construction has to take place for this. Do you have the miles off the top of your head of lines that you guys have to install?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but I have it.
Because I've heard those miles before, and people, it is a huge undertaking.
Let's see. As of today, we so far have completed, as of last Tuesday, 622 miles of fiber built. So.
And how much do you have, what's your total you're going to be at in the end?
We're going to pass 15,000 plus homes. So, and then let's see, I think it's 1,404 miles. We've got 1,337 overhead and 27 underground. So let's see what I don't know exactly how many miles.
Right. But it is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot of miles, and underground, I'm sure it takes a little bit more time than your overhead. I'm assuming because you have to dig and takes more people to get things done. So,
well, they have the machinery where they just come out and if they have to dig, we had a member call the other day, and he said that he couldn't even tell. He could just barely tell that anybody had been there to do that. So that's what we want to hear. That's the feedback that we like to hear. We had a lady, she called in and she said that she works from home. She said, and I'm quoting, I've been able to upload YouTube videos and it takes her about 10 minutes to upload. And she said, 2 hours to upload. Now it takes her 10 minutes to upload her videos. So she said, I work from home. I do a majority of my business online. So this is a game changer.
It is. Yeah. We do not realize how much we need and use these services. We use them in our everyday lives. things are a lot different now. Used to, you had to go pull out an encyclopedia to look something up. Now we just want to ask Siri, or we just want to, Google something, and it takes having some type of fiber or some type of cell phone service to be able to do that.
I know there's some areas in Portland, my mom, for example, she had to change carriers because, first of all, she has no access to the internet. So no one's willing to run the fiber out that far to her house yet. We will eventually, but she just had to change carriers because she couldn't get a cell phone signal with the new iPhone. She had a flip phone and she was going to switch over to an iPhone, and she was no longer going to have signal to be able to call when she was on the farm. So
she had better service with a flip phone?
Yes.
Now that's crazy.
Yes.
So, but hopefully, like I say, I know that it seems like forever and an eternity when you're needing it and wanting it, but you guys are working as fast as you can. And I know that you have a very aggressive goal. And when is your goal to have everybody up and going?
The whole cooperative, of course, we have over 100,000 members. So we're hoping to complete the project. It's a 5 to 6 year project. So I hope that we will, and I know everybody is giving 100% to meet that goal. And we just reach out to the ones that we haven't announced future phases yet. We have a good idea of what they're going to be, but the ones that are in the later phases, please be patient with us. We're going to get there sooner or later. I promise everyone that we're working as fast as we can to get there, even through these crazy times. I mean, the contractors have been following CDC guidelines, and they've still been out there working. These essential workers, our linemen, our electric linemen, they've been out there working, when they've been available 24 hours a day throughout all this. And I just want to say thank you to them. They sometimes are the forgotten heroes. They sometimes don't get mentioned, and they're out there in the rain and the wind and the storms, and it's snow. And so
yes, we do appreciate all that they do. I know when your electricity's out, and it'll be the same way when it comes to your internet, but when your electricity's out, you want it back on as quick as possible. And in some of these times that we've had 5,000 people out and 10,000 people out, or whatever those numbers may have been, and you have trees down on lines, you have poles down, it just takes a little bit of time. But you guys work so hard to get those up so quickly, and I, for one, appreciate all of the time and effort that goes into that.
Well, sometimes, you walk into a room and you flip that switch on and you don't realize what goes into that. If we have 3 or 4 poles down and it's a bad storm, that is a process that's not just flipping a switch back on. And but we also understand that people don't understand that. So that's why we try to communicate, and, Twitter, Facebook, our member services does a great job of putting out information all the time. They're good at LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, and I feel like I'm leaving something out. The website is there's a lot of good, helpful information on there. So they do a great job informing people.
They do. And, I love the outage map, because if I do have an outage, I'm able to go out there and watch that outage map and see how the progression comes along. And so, like you say, there's a lot of tools to watch what's going on and watch these guys out there. And when it's raining and storming and there's lights out, that they're out there working. So again,
definitely they do. I mean, I tried to work one storm with them and run a material when I worked on the electric side, and I thought the next day, how in the world did they do this for 3 or 4 or 5 days at a time? I mean, it takes a special type of person and a strong, hard worker to do that job.
It does. And you guys send people to other storms as well. So if there's a storm, when they were in Lebanon and they were in Nashville, I think you guys sent there, but you sent them to Florida, you sent them to different places. So your guys step up to the plate when it's when other areas, and they do the same for us.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they do. And I'm feel like I'm blessed to work with such good people. We've got a good employee base.
Well, we do appreciate you and all the team and what they're doing. And, as much as we sit here and say, hurry up, we know that it's going to take time. And we just want you to keep us updated. And when you're ready to turn that switch on in Mitchell, let us know. We'll come to a ribbon cutting. We'll have a big notification to let everybody know. And the ones that are on that can hopefully get signed up as quick as possible.
Yeah, we'll hang signs. I mean, our creative director, she has come up with yard signs and banners that we'll hang, and you'll see. Of course, you'll get your material in the mail, and then all of our social media, she'll post it there, and word of mouth. Just once we get to the area and you experience our service and have subscribed, please spread the word for us. That's the best form of advertising. So
it is. And I know people will, because they'll be bragging because they already have it.
I know. That's the thing. Okay. In Portland, please understand that there are 3 substations in Portland: Fountainhead, Mitchellville, and Portland. So there's going to be 3 different times when some people in Portland may have the service, for example, Mitchellville this year, and some other people in Portland may not. So please understand that's how we have designed the phases and the project, and we are following the electric grid and per substation. So please keep that in mind. We're not just ignoring you. I wish we could snap our fingers and help everybody at one time, but
and there is a theory. There is organization and a theory to this madness. I know that there is, but we do appreciate it. We're excited. Nobody else would bring it to these places that you're bringing it, so that's why it is very important that you stepped up and realized. And let's say too that the reason that they had not done this earlier as well is because the government did not allow co-ops to do this.
Right. The Broadband Accessibility Act was passed in 2017, and there was a great interest and it's shown that a lot of people wanted and needed that service. So they reached out and did feasibility studies and tried to see, gather interest and surveys to see if it would be something that would be doable and beneficial for our service area. And, we've been lucky enough to be able to have other cooperatives mentor us. I know that OEC Fiber out in Oklahoma is amazing. They have a team that they have really, really helped us a lot we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we also we don't have to make the same mistakes that they made in the beginning. So they say, no, if we say, hey, we were thinking about doing something like this, no, don't do that. So it's good to have people like that to help us that are seasoned already and have made the mistakes, and we won't have to hopefully make the same. So
that's true. So like I say, it is a great undertaking. We are excited to this service to be offered to us, and I know we'll have you back on and get another update as things progress. But do you have anything else you want to share with people? Anything we've left out or that you need to get with the word out there?
Just our 800 number, call in, update your information, be on the lookout for your mail inserts. Make sure that you sign up for updates. Go on the website, www.cumberlandconnect.org. Sign up for the updates so that you'll kind of know. She tries to give updates that says, as far as the construction goes, and it explains everything. Go on Facebook, like our Facebook page, follow us. And if you have any questions, have any business questions, call me. I'll be glad to answer. Hit me up on Facebook. Whatever you need to do to get in touch with any of us, do that. We're all here for you. I can't think if I left anything up, but I know that I'll think of something as soon as we end the interview. So
always, it always goes that way. But we do want you to update that information. And remember, I think Dawn put a link to your Facebook event tomorrow. So check on that at 2:30. They'll be able to ask any questions they want there as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And did anybody else have any questions that they
I
have?
think we answered all of the ones we had out there, and people will watch this later because it will live on our Facebook page, so they'll watch it later, and hopefully they'll watch it and then tune in again at 2:30 tomorrow to be able to ask questions if things, like you say, a lot of times you get off and then you remember things that you need to ask, so maybe they'll be able to do that too.
Yeah, and I think they'll have, our broadband manager, he is typically on those, and then our creative director, so she'll be able to answer more communication questions, and our network person and our tech support person, hopefully they'll be able to be on there tomorrow. But if anybody has any business questions, you are welcome to reach out to me. My cell phone number, my business number is 931-206-2180. So if you have any questions as far as your business goes, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you, especially in the Mitchellville area, because if we get this preliminary paperwork done, then we go ahead and be ready to get you connected as soon as we get in that area.
I just put that in the comments as well, so they'll have your number there, and they'll be able to ask you anything that they need to.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, we do appreciate you joining us today, and everybody. I appreciate everybody watching and everybody that comes on to watch later. Make sure that you go out there and update your information with Cumberland Connect and CEMC.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Look forward to serving you all. I need to mention one more thing that I didn't mention. North Central Telephone Cooperative. If you are served by the North Central Telephone Cooperative in the Portland, Gallatin edges, I think a Gallatin area, we will not be able to serve you. That is part of the Tennessee Broadband Accessibility Act, that we are not allowed to overlap into a telephone cooperative's service area. So we can check your address. So if you are served by North Central, unfortunately, we would love to, but we cannot. So I want to make sure I put that out there, because that is going to affect the Portland area.
Yeah, there will be some that will be affected by that, but hopefully either they'll be able to maybe even offer the service to them. I think that they could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully they will build out to them. I know that they do have a fiber division, so hopefully they will be willing to do that. So we'll try to put you in contact if we need to.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of the week, and we'll keep informed with your updates that come out.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thanks for joining us, Jennifer. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.